Hey, this is Jason Creel. You're watching Lawn Care Life. Today I ran into Chad. He's a guy that's local here that does a lot of aeration, and just was impressed with his setup here. He came pulling up. I thought he had a stand-on mower in the back of his truck, but it's actually his stand-on aerator. And so anyway, I'm gonna talk to Chad and let y'all see his setup, because it's something I hadn't seen before, the way he's able to put this in the back of a regular pickup truck. And then we're gonna talk about his machine here, talk about aeration. All right, so you can see what I saw when he came pulling up. I saw, well, he's got a ride-on, stand-on mower put in the back of his truck. How did he make that happen? And then he was showing me the system he's got. So Chad, let's show us this contraption that you've put together. And he's talking about getting a, you know, like a work van later to put this thing in the back. But he said this, you know, a lot cheaper, though it's not cheap. So show us what you got here and how this thing works.
Well, this is a load-all. It's a pretty neat system. It's easy. I can remove the whole thing from the truck. Just remove these clamps here, or this nut, and these clamps slide off and I can take it out. But what's really nice is everything folds up into your truck. What's really neat is there's never any weight on your trailer. Everything is the weight is distributed inside the trailer. So under the back bed, put her little feet on.
I've never seen something like that. He said it costs about $2,600, so it's not a cheap option, but you know, if you want to put a walk behind mower back there, I don't know if a zero turn would fit. It'd probably be, but a walk behind or stand on mower, you could actually put it in the back of your truck if you wanted the ultra compact unit, you know. So I mean, it's more expensive than a trailer would be, but I do like that, and I think that'd be an option for some people.
Yeah, it's what's really neat, when I first saw it, they put 2 water hoses on this thing and just flooded it, and a guy was driving this motorcycle in and out, big heavy duty Harley, and would stop mid-range. It's got such aggressive track on there that it's not going to slide off. But it makes it a real convenient way for me to make sure that I'm not putting the company in a lot of unnecessary debt up front until I build it where I need it. This is a much cheaper system and easier system. That way I can just use my regular truck without having to buy additional equipment. So that was my thought process there, and it being able to fold up, I find so many other uses for it. So it's worked out good. All
right, we're gonna watch him get this machine off of here. What's the weight limit on that ramp? Do you know?
Yeah, it's 2,500 pounds.
Okay.
And the X-Mark 30-inch stand-on weighs 1,015 pounds.
Okay.
So it's I've got plenty. But what I like about it is even when the aerator is completely over the tailgate will still move. There's never there's never any weight pushing down on it. Everything's transferred back into the truck. So Yeah, I mean, it works great. It doesn't matter if it's heels or what. It just, and the guy up there at Lodall, you can talk to Paul. Super nice guy, super company to deal with, and they custom did this one. This one is actually a #2 series, and it's supposed to make a short bed a long bed, because this piece that folds back here does it up front, so you can leave your tailgate down and make it a long bed, make a short bed into a long bed.
Okay.
But they custom did this one so everything would close back up. So
is that Lodall? Do they have dealerships like in other states, or is it just one?
They just got this one place, as far as I know.
Okay.
I just called directly to them. I actually saw them online and just called directly to them. And
okay.
they're pretty good.
Where are they based out of?
They're out of Michigan.
Oh, okay. So they shipped it to you,
Yeah,
and
they
you
just shipped it right to me, and it was had it set up and in the truck within probably an hour.
Okay.
And it's ready to go.
Why don't you come here and stand by the machine? Let's talk about. Do you say aeration, or how do you? Somebody told me I was pronouncing it wrong.
No, I say aeration.
That's what I say.
It's maybe it's a southern thing. I don't know.
We're going to call it aeration, but first, Chad, talk to us a little bit about aeration, like whether you're talking to a homeowner or whatever. Like, what do you tell them as far as the benefits of, what's the point of having your yard aerated?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to fracture this soil. We want to allow oxygen into your root system. We want to allow water into your root system. And these chemical companies have designed a chemical program just for your property. And what we want to allow is we want to get all the investment that you've got with that chemical program to make sure that everything is staying inside the yard, that it's not so packed that it's running off when it rains. You got to understand that when it rains, that helps pack the soil. When you're walking over it or mowing over it, that helps pack the soil. So I got a couple of horticulturists out of University of Alabama. I went down and talked with them, and they had 3 areas that they had set aside for testing aeration, and one of them they aerated 1 time, 3 times, and 8 times. And the one that they aerated 8 times, they took a mini excavator and dug out a sample spot, and they found roots down 30 inches deep. Now, what that means is it doesn't matter if there's a big drought or if it's really hot like it here is in Alabama. What we're looking for is when we can have roots down 30 inches deep, they're down there where it's cool, they're down there where it's damp, so this high temperatures, droughts is not going to affect your yard. But by opening it up and fractioning the soil, you're going to have much better root system, much better growth, and your yard's going to be much more healthy. That is the purpose for an aerator, and we have found that in doing this, it helps with weed control. And it's probably, you've got to have your chemicals on your yard and you've got to mow your yard, but if you're not aerating, then you're not getting the full benefit of your property out of your turf.
All right, tell me about the machine you got here. It looks like it is fairly new, so how do you like this? Is the X-Mark 30-inch stand-on aerator. Tell me, with the use that you've gotten out of it, what your initial impressions are. Let me stand back and get a view of it here.
This is a real machine. It's a 30-inch stand-on aerator. It's hydraulic steered, and we have hydraulic down pressure, which is going to be real important because in some of these soil conditions that are real hard and real rocky, I can turn up the hydraulic down pressure and really punch into the ground. This thing is just a joy to work on every day. It's real easy. It's short and compact, so I can get it in tight areas. Now we do have walk behind aerators for real small properties, little garden homes, or if we get on a hillside, we want to make sure that those areas still are getting aerated as well. But there's just nothing like this stand-on aerator. Exmart has really done a great job in putting this system together, and I love it.
We're gonna watch you aerate for a minute and just, you know, see the machine in action, get a shorter sample here. All right, so let's see the job he's done here, and the plugs he's pulling are, you know, what would you say, 3 inches?
Yes,
or 3.5?
3.5 right there. You get up some of the looser stuff, you'll get closer to 4. And that was only on 250 pounds of PSI of down pressure. So this is, you can tell when you're down in this lower part, it's a little bit harder and rocky where it's more packed. And up in here in this centipede, it's in this particular section, it's a lot looser, and you're pulling bigger cores. So yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah. All right, glad we were able to talk about a couple things. Thankful to Chad at educating us here on aeration and on this ramp that he's got system in the back of his truck. So if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. I continue to provide helpful content for you, and you can check out these suggested videos. Thanks a lot.